What the heck's that white tree?
Arbor vitae.
What is the ventricle between the arbor vitae and the pons?
Fourth.
Ventricle. We didn't cover this yet. This here tube that brings fluid from the third ventricle to the fourth is called the cerebral aqueduct. What's the name of that little doohickey, which is the rod of the yo-yo? This is the interthalamic adhesion. What ventricle surrounds the interthalamic adhesion? Is it the lateral, the third, or the fourth?
Third.
Third. The third bathes the thalamus. The fourth is next to the arbor vitae. You can't see it. There'd be one off on each side, lateral.
And they're first and second. Which is
You
left
could
or
think
which
of
is
the
right?
lateral as first and second.
Okay.
They just now. What's this structure that is brainstem inferior to the pons? Medulla. What is the structure superior? Here is our corpora quadrigemina. What's this midbrain stuff that's superior to the pons? Midbrain. In the notes, I tell you there's another word for it. It's called the mesencephalon. Midbrain's called the mesencephalon. And the thalamus, hypothalamus, and epithalamus, the pineal gland, are called the diencephalon. Is that crazy? There's a mesencephalon, which is inferior to the diencephalon. Diencephalon is the thalamus, the third ventricle, the hypothalamus, and the epithalamus on top of the thalamus. That's your pineal gland, number 23. What do we call this area of your brain? Your cerebral hemispheres that are made out of folds called a gyrus, gyri. And the gray matter of the folds is called cerebral cortex. And then the white matter, we don't worry about too much about the names of that. Now let's look at some nerves. What's this nerve that has a Roman numeral I on it to tell you it's number 1? Oh, that's too easy on these tests. So this is called olfactory bulb or olfactory neuron coming from the olfactory bulb, this one. What would be this area where they would cross over when you're processing vision? It's just the same model. Oh, these brains are kinky. They don't match. I'm trying to do some kind of unallowed thing. But this here is your optic nerve number 2, cranial nerve number 2, optic chiasm right here in the middle. This little P that is below the thalamus, what's it called? Below. Pituitary. In Greek, it has its own name, another name. It's called the hypophysis. Hypo means below. Physis means growth. You could say, what's that growth in the land down under? In Greek, it's the hypophysis, the growth below the hypothalamus. Is that crazy? Now, what is this largest cranial nerve that emerges from the pons? It just happens to come from the pons. He's got a V on it.
Trigeminal.
That's the trigeminal. It's a branch that goes along from what's called the trigeminal ganglion. There's a mandibular branch, a maxillary branch, and an ophthalmic branch. And we don't need to know any branches. Just know 5V is trigeminal. Oh, that's the favorite. Ask your dentist next time. Yo, my teacher thinks he's psychic. What is your favorite cranial nerve? And he'll say, duh, trigeminal. Sit down, I'm going to inject your trigeminal branches. They just love that nerve. The others you don't need to worry about. Just number 1, number 2, and number 5. Starting next week, we'll show you where number 10 is on this model called Stickman. Now, this is what happens to any one of us men if we stopped eating. We would turn that stick skinny over there. And it wouldn't be pretty, would it? And then somebody will cut us in half. The Vegas, or better pronounced the